going to go through my figures, give you a sort of decent look. There's no logic to it after this first group. This first group are the first sci-fi figures I ever bought. Miniature figurines, 1973. Pinheads in the middle, some sort of strange aquatic chaps, humans. The weird fella on the left, I don't know what he is. He looks like a seahorse with legs. But it always tickled me that he's got a holster with some sort of weapon in it, but he has no arms. He's got little yellow flippers. And his little yellow flippers don't reach the holster. I don't know what that is. You tell me. I was always more of a fantasy, historic game player. Very rarely played science fiction. But I was at a club in the north of England where it was very heavily populated by younger players who were playing in the 80s and 90s. Necromunda, Space Hulk, Rogue Trader, Blood Bowl, etc. 40k. And about once a month, we'd get everybody together and put all of our science fiction figures out on the table, huge tables. We had like 4 table tennis tables at the community hall we used, and everyone would bring all of their scenery and we'd have a massive battle. Now I felt a bit left out. I had an Eldar. That was the first figure I ever painted with acrylic paint. That was in the mid-80s. So I got myself just a Rhino and a small squad of Ultramarines. But later on I wanted more than that, so I ended up with an army of squats, because no one had squats. And I had everything. I had the motorbikes, I had gyrocopters, I had the epic scale, I had ships, I had that little American Civil War ironclads like the Monitor and the Merrimack. So the squats have been with me for a long time. All I've got left are 14 of these, who I still regularly play with. These come out in Stargrave, they come out in 5 parsecs. They're my campaign, sort of go-to campaign unit. And I love them, absolutely love them. I was a young wargamer in Doncaster in the 60s and 70s. And there was a shop called Stamp Corner. And we used to go in the Stamp Corner and get our figures. Anyway, a couple of years ago, I was up at Doncaster watching the Doncaster Rovers, my favourite team. Not the best team, but my team. And someone said that Stamp Corners still exist. I said, never. They said, it does. It's like 50, 60 years ago. So it's not in the same place, but it was run by the same couple. And we went in, and I found this chap lurking, still in his original packet, all covered in dust and corroded. So I brought him home and painted him, and he's joined my sci-fi units as a random robot. I regularly hear gamers say to me, "Oh, I don't like Christmas." Or adults, people who should know better, saying, "There's no such thing as Father Christmas." Ha! Rubbish. And because they don't believe in Father Christmas, this doesn't happen. Father Christmas brought me these, ready painted and everything. Yippee! So there you go. I believe. I'm led to understand that they're from Star Wars, but I don't know. I don't know Star Wars well enough to be able to confirm that, but I'm sure one of you can out there. Went to a War Games fair last year, and these lads were all for sale, painted. Magnificent, beautiful things. So if we're looking at this channel as how can I carry on wargaming, I've got Parkinson's, here's a tip. Go and buy things that are ready painted. They look great. So once you go down the road of saying, I will buy things that are ready painted, you go down a rabbit hole, and that rabbit hole is, it's painted, it's cheap, I'll have it. Hence my classic Star Trek team. Who I use, they come out in games, role-play games, Traveller, Stargrave. They fit nicely actually with the new core space game. They're a really good scale for that. Similarly, if you're not too picky, someone will come along and say, what's your rate to them? And you say, they look like Ghostbusters. And they will say, yeah, they are. So, and you'll say, okay, I'll have them. I really like them. I think they're dead cool. I use them as light infantry. And so, you see 2 random figures from the Squid Games. And they were 2 for 50 pence. So, guess what? Yep, I bought them. Pretty much down the same road, really. At a War Games fair last year. Saw these fellas from Doctor Who. Had to buy them. Come out in role plays and things. I mean, you never know, do you, when you want a skeleton in a spacesuit ambling around. Similarly, painted Santaran, Doctor Who. I thought he might work as a Seon pinhead in power armour. I'm not sure he does, but that's why I got him. But that, and he was painted and cheap. My son-in-law sees himself in role plays very much as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm not commenting on what the rest of us see him as. But I did buy him a t-shirt for his birthday that had a wizard on, saying, I know it's a small room, but I am going to cast a fireball. You now know everything you need to know. So, these were a set of 3. Luke, Leia, and, interestingly enough, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You'd have thought it to be Harrison Ford's character, wouldn't you? But no, it wasn't. So anyway, perhaps he was with the Chewbacca group. So I bought them so I could give him the figure. And I kept the other 2. If I just turn Luke round a bit, you see that's a lightsaber. Didn't look quite right the way it was. But again, ready painted. Leia's obviously been doing some gym work on her abs. And I rarely turn down anything. This is a sandworm from June. These are Games Workshop ideas for wargs. I don't buy it. I think wargs are wolves that work with goblins. If you read The Hobbit, I'm not a big fan of the modern view of a warg. So I turned mine into some sort of random encounter space dog for Stargrave. This is the largest of all of my robots. If I put him there, if I put a Star Trek figure next to him, you get an idea of the scale. He's a big lad. Again, I bought him, I haven't got the price on the bottom, bought him ready painted, ready assembled at a War Games convention, and I never pay more than £5 for anything I don't really want, and I didn't really want that. So it must have been £5 or less, otherwise I wouldn't have bought it. Not bad, eh? Keep your eyes open. And we'll just end with a final look at some of my earlier 40k figures. Peculiar little goblin there with a strange gun. I have a feeling he might be from one of the boxed games. Somebody tell me. I don't know enough about science. I'm not a science fiction player even now. I play it, I enjoy it. I haven't got a clue about all the mythology of it all. So, let me know. Tell me what you think. If you're going to fairs and conventions, keep your eyes open. There's some bargains out there. There really are. Bargains. So, leave it on that note. Ta-da,